They woke up, and their wombs were empty. No scars, no memory, just an unbearable void. Some say it was a curse. Others whisper of a powerful doctor who stole more than just their futures.
Ngozi Uche wakes in a haze after what was meant to be a routine procedure at a local clinic in Lagos. The blinding sterile light and the lingering scent of antiseptic mix with a sudden, burning pain in her abdomen. In that instant, she realizes something vital has been taken from her, a loss she feels deep in her bones. A desperate scream escapes her lips, echoing off cold walls, while a shadowy nurse murmurs, "It's better if you forget," a phrase that haunts her long after the echoes fade. Across the bustling streets of Lagos, Amina Danjuma, a determined investigative journalist with a reputation for exposing hidden truths, reads a mysterious online post describing unconsented surgeries. The post, filled with local slang and raw emotion, hints at a darker underbelly of Nigeria's medical world. Intrigued and fueled by her own past struggles, Amina vows to unearth the truth, unaware that her path is now intertwined with a story of betrayal and systemic corruption. Detective Femi Adegbite, renowned for his relentless pursuit of justice amid the maze of Lagos' corrupt undercurrents, reviews a series of cold cases that share an unsettling pattern. 3 women, all from different parts of the city, have vanished following minor medical procedures, their fates cloaked in silence. A jittery informant's whisper, "They steal more than just trust, they steal your future," sets a chill down Femi's spine, hinting at a horror beyond conventional crime. At a modest cafe in Abuja, Amina meets Ngozi, whose eyes dart around in fearful vigilance as she recounts her ordeal in a hushed, urgent tone. Ngozi's words, heavy with local idioms and personal sorrow, reveal that she is not an isolated case. The conversation crystallizes for Amina a horrifying truth. A sinister force is exploiting vulnerable women, and the fight to expose it is just beginning. Following Ngozi's trembling directions, Amina visits what was once a bustling clinic on the outskirts of Lagos, a place whispered about in local markets and hushed conversations. Instead, she finds an empty lot, the structure erased as if it were a ghost, leaving behind only a memory and the scent of decay. It was here, Ngozi insists, her accent thick with disbelief and pain, while Amina's investigative instincts scream that someone is carefully covering their tracks. Simultaneously, Detective Femi finds himself holding an anonymous envelope containing a worn medical report. The document lists 5 names, each a woman whose future has been brutally stolen, culminating in the ominous signature of Dr. Celestina Okafor. This discovery solidifies Femi's suspicion. Behind the facade of routine medical care lies a calculated network of exploitation, meticulously hidden from public view. Dr. Celestina Okafor is celebrated across Nigeria as a miracle worker in fertility clinics, her name evoking hope among countless desperate couples. Yet behind her public accolades lies a secret life, a life where human dignity is traded like currency. In a discreet, hidden operating room deep within an unregistered clinic, she prepares for a procedure that crosses the line of ethics, her calm voice belying the horror about to unfold as she states, "Let's begin." While Amina delves into Celestina's shadowy past, she uncovers whispers of forbidden experiments and sudden, unexplained deaths. The public narrative of miraculous recoveries is marred by hidden tragedies. A woman celebrated for overcoming infertility dies under suspicious circumstances, leaving a trail of questions that gnaw at Amina's resolve. The stark contrast between Celestina's polished public image and her dark private deeds sets the stage for an explosive confrontation. Detective Femi's investigation takes a critical turn when he analyzes grainy CCTV footage from a bustling Lagos street market. In the footage, a black SUV, the kind reserved for the powerful, whisks away a young woman mere moments after her hospital visit. Tracing the vehicle leads Femi to a shadowy shell company linked to none other than Chief Odigun, a local billionaire with deep political ties and a reputation for influencing outcomes behind closed doors. At the same moment, an anonymous email lands in Amina's inbox, its terse message reading, "Stop digging. Some secrets are worth more than your life." The raw warning, embedded with local street wisdom, fuels her determination rather than fear. Instead, it binds her ever tighter to the cause, setting her on a collision course with forces that thrive in the murky depths of Nigeria's power corridors. Deep in the labyrinthine back alleys of Lagos, Detective Femi conducts interviews with reluctant witnesses, each sharing fragments of a terrifying narrative in hushed, urgent tones. The locals speak of stolen futures and surgeries that leave scars deeper than skin, a covert network operating under the veneer of legitimate medical care. Every whispered account adds another thread to the tapestry of a widespread conspiracy. Meanwhile, Amina receives an encrypted text from an unknown source, a survivor whose message is laden with local proverbs and hints of a hidden network of victims. The message weaves together voices from different corners of Nigeria, binding their fates with shared pain and defiance. With each new whisper, the enormity of the conspiracy becomes impossible to ignore, and the stakes grow ever higher. Late one humid night, a nondescript van stops near an abandoned warehouse on the edge of Lagos. Within its dark confines, hooded figures exchange a sealed package containing meticulously organized medical files and vials marked with cryptic patient codes. The transaction, carried out with chilling precision, reveals a cold-blooded operation that traffics not in stolen organs alone but in shattered lives. Amina, hidden in the shadows, records every detail with a mix of dread and determination. The scene, rich with the ambient sounds of a restless city and punctuated by hushed exchanges, confirms the existence of a vast black market where human fertility is exploited as the ultimate commodity. This discovery cements the dark reality that the network's reach extends far beyond what anyone in Lagos could have imagined. Under the pulsating neon glow of a rundown bar in Lagos, fate brings Amina and Detective Femi together. Initially cautious and burdened by their own past scars, they soon recognize that their investigations are converging on the same sinister nexus. The shared urgency and a deep-rooted desire for justice forge a tentative alliance that feels both fragile and necessary in the face of overwhelming corruption. Pooling their insights and local contacts, they plan to infiltrate a secret auction where stolen reproductive materials are rumored to change hands among Nigeria's elite. The alliance, marked by mutual respect and tempered by an acute awareness of the risks, offers a glimmer of hope amid the pervasive darkness, a hope that their combined efforts might finally expose the perpetrators hiding behind masks of legitimacy. Under the cloak of a starless night, Amina stealthily enters a decrepit office rumored to house altered patient records. Amidst dust-laden files and a flickering computer screen, she discovers that countless records have been meticulously doctored to erase the truth of unauthorized procedures. Each tampered file is a silent testament to a system built on deceit, where the identities and futures of countless women have been erased. The records reveal that these manipulations are not random but are part of a deliberate strategy to cover up the dark experiments orchestrated by Dr. Celestina Okafor. The chilling discovery deepens Amina's resolve, confirming that every falsified entry is a direct assault on the very fabric of justice in a society already wrestling with its own demons. In a cramped, dimly lit room behind a shuttered clinic, a courageous nurse meets Amina in secret. Her voice trembles as she confesses the unspeakable horrors she witnessed, surgical procedures performed without consent and records manipulated to erase evidence. The nurse's story, steeped in local dialect and heartfelt sorrow, breathes life into the hidden testimonies of countless victims whose voices have been silenced. Her revelations send shockwaves through the investigation, igniting a firestorm of public outrage that reverberates through the community. Detective Femi, now armed with this first-hand testimony, feels the net of accountability tightening. The nurse's courage becomes their rallying cry for a quest for truth that promises to expose not just individual crimes, but a systemic exploitation that has long haunted the nation. Amina's investigation leads her to high society gatherings where whispers of unethical procedures mix with the clink of expensive glasses. At a luxurious private event in Victoria Island, influential businessmen and politicians exchange hushed remarks hinting at a shadow network controlling medical miracles. The conversation is laced with local proverbs and coded language that reveal more than they conceal, an undercurrent of exploitation thriving in the corridors of power. Simultaneously, Detective Femi pieces together testimonies from the streets of Lagos, where everyday voices speak of injustice and hidden networks. The rising storm of public discontent is palpable as community leaders and victims band together, determined to challenge the impunity of those behind the stolen futures. Every whispered conversation signals that the case is about to erupt into a full-blown national scandal. In a derelict office on the fringes of Abuja, Femi discovers a battered ledger tucked behind a broken filing cabinet. Its pages, stained by time and neglect, detail a series of clandestine transactions, payments for unapproved procedures recorded in precise Nigerian naira, implicating high-ranking officials and shadow financiers. The entries consistently point to Chief Odigun, linking him to the heart of the operation. Each ledger entry is a damning reminder of a system built on corruption and secrecy. For Femi, the ledger is both evidence and an urgent call to action, a tangible piece of the puzzle that could finally bring the perpetrators into the light. The ledger's chilling contents deepen the sense of betrayal as local trust in the medical system and governmental oversight crumbles. At a community center in Enugu, a grieving woman recounts the heartache of discovering that her dreams of motherhood were stolen in a single, unconsented procedure. Her raw, impassioned testimony, delivered in a mix of Igbo and English, stirs the hearts of those who have long suffered in silence. The pain in her voice speaks volumes about the systemic injustice inflicted on so many. Her story reverberates far beyond the center's walls, igniting a spark of public outrage. Activists and local journalists rally around her narrative, turning her personal tragedy into a broader movement for justice. The emotional weight of her account reminds everyone that behind every statistic lies a human life irrevocably changed. Rumors swirl about a clandestine auction where stolen reproductive materials are traded like precious artifacts. In the backrooms of a bustling market in Lagos, hushed voices confirm that elite buyers, from corrupt politicians to wealthy businessmen, bid for what they believe to be the secret to perfection. The auction is shrouded in secrecy, conducted under the veil of night and the oppressive heat of the city. Amina, armed with a hidden camera and unwavering resolve, infiltrates the periphery of this underground event. She captures fragments of conversation and fleeting images of shadowy figures exchanging sealed envelopes, each interaction laden with the promise of forbidden power. The auction scene solidifies the narrative, a market where human dignity is bartered for wealth and status. Dr. Celestina Okafor's duality is laid bare as Amina investigates her public persona versus her covert operations. In dazzling media interviews and charity galas, Celestina is the miracle worker who brings hope to desperate couples. Yet behind the smiles and accolades lies a meticulously hidden network of exploitation. Her every public gesture is a carefully crafted performance that conceals a dark secret. Local insiders reveal that many who once trusted her now whisper of a hidden clinic where the real horror unfolds. The dichotomy between her celebrated image and her secret activities unsettles even her staunchest supporters. The community's faith in her begins to erode as the evidence of her double life becomes undeniable, casting a long dark shadow over her once revered reputation. Late one humid night, a distorted voicemail reaches Detective Femi's secure phone. The message, delivered in a thick Lagos accent, warns him of an imminent, large-scale operation orchestrated by a network that spans borders. The urgency in the voice, a mixture of fear and determination, hints at international players intertwined with Nigeria's own corrupt elites. This cryptic call forces Femi to reassess every piece of evidence, realizing that the scope of the conspiracy has grown far beyond local boundaries. The unsettling notion that global syndicates may be involved injects a new level of peril into the case. The detective feels the weight of the world's injustice on his shoulders as he prepares to confront an enemy that knows no borders. Within the close-knit circle of investigators and insiders, a sting of betrayal takes root. A trusted confidant, seduced by fear and greed, is discovered sharing critical evidence with agents of the criminal network. The revelation is a bitter pill to swallow, as it shakes the very foundation of trust that Amina and Femi have painstakingly built. The fallout from the betrayal spreads like wildfire through the team, leaving everyone on edge. Suspicion seeps into every conversation, and the comforting bonds of solidarity begin to fracture. This betrayal is a stark reminder that in the quest for justice, the most dangerous enemies can sometimes come from within. In the heart of Lagos' notorious Balogun market, Amina embarks on a perilous mission under the cloak of darkness. Every narrow alley and crowded corner hides whispers of fear and secrets too dangerous to speak aloud. The night is thick with tension, and the city's chaotic energy becomes a labyrinth of shadows and hidden dangers. As Amina moves cautiously through the maze-like streets, she overhears snippets of conversation, snatches of local dialect that hint at the true extent of the operation. The palpable danger of the night reinforces her resolve to expose the truth, even as the shadows seem to stretch out with malevolent intent. Each step forward is a defiant act against a system designed to silence her. Detective Femi, tirelessly piecing together disparate clues, begins to see the threads of the conspiracy intertwining into a single, ominous tapestry. The emerging pattern links manipulated records, covert financial transactions, and the disturbing prevalence of unauthorized medical procedures. Every new revelation is a blow against the established order of impunity. Yet, with each connection Femi uncovers, the danger intensifies. The realization that the network's influence penetrates the very institutions meant to protect the public leaves him both determined and deeply conflicted. The unraveling of this sinister plot becomes a race against time, as every clue brings him closer to a truth that could shatter lives and expose a rot at the heart of society. Amina's journey takes a perilous turn as anonymous threats escalate into targeted acts of intimidation. Late-night break-ins, ominous phone calls in Yoruba, and the haunting silence of an empty home weigh on her. Every warning is a reminder that the price of revealing hidden truths might be her own life, as well as those of the vulnerable victims she seeks to protect. The tension reaches its zenith when a final message arrives, a stark ultimatum written in hurried, desperate scrawl: stop or suffer. Instead of retreating, Amina's determination solidifies into a fierce resolve to see justice done. With her spirit unbroken, she braces herself for the battles ahead, knowing that the truth, however painful, must come to light. In the dim backroom of a dilapidated hospital in Kano, Amina discovers a secret archive filled with brittle files and faded photographs. Each document tells the silent story of unconsented procedures and lives irreparably altered. The air in the room is heavy with the scent of old paper and suppressed despair, as if the records themselves weep for the lost futures they detail. As Amina sifts through the archives, the recurring name of Dr. Celestina Okafor appears like a dark refrain, a grim reminder of the mastermind behind the operation. This trove of evidence not only confirms her suspicions, but also hints at a vast, meticulously organized network. The weight of every page intensifies her resolve to shine a light on the truth, even as the burden of those lost weighs heavily on her heart. Detective Femi follows a new lead that ties the stolen reproductive materials to a series of bizarre, genetically altered births among Nigeria's elite. In hushed tones at a local hospital, whispers circulate about infants with uncanny traits, a disturbing result of forbidden experiments. The anomaly challenges conventional medical understanding and suggests that the stolen tissues are being used for something far more sinister than mere profit. Each case Femi uncovers deepens the mystery. The genetic oddities hint at an agenda of designer offspring, linking the black market trade to international bioengineering ambitions. This revelation forces Femi to confront the possibility that the conspiracy is not only rooted in corruption but also driven by an unholy pursuit of perfection, one that threatens the very fabric of human identity. A breakthrough comes when a trusted insider delivers encrypted digital files directly to Amina. The files, coded in a mix of English and Pidgin, contain a maze of financial records, hidden correspondences, and clandestine meeting minutes. The promise of exposing high-level figures provides Amina with a tangible lead, but the files are a double-edged sword, laden with false trails and deliberate misdirections designed to mislead. In the process of decoding the information, Amina realizes that each piece of evidence is carefully planted to both reveal and conceal the truth. This breakthrough intensifies the stakes, forcing her to tread carefully while piecing together the puzzle. Every clue is a battle between hope and deception, and the cost of unmasking the conspirators becomes increasingly personal. At an opulent charity event in Abuja, whispers begin to circulate about a beloved philanthropist whose generosity masks a darker involvement. Behind the veneer of benevolence, this influential figure is revealed as a key financial backer of the operation. The revelation stuns the community, as the man who once embodied hope is now linked to a network exploiting vulnerable women. This hidden beneficiary's involvement underscores the pervasiveness of corruption, blurring the lines between good and evil. Amina's investigation confirms that the philanthropist's funds are being channeled into the underground auction of stolen reproductive materials. The betrayal of trust is palpable, and the revelation forces the public to question the true nature of charity and power in their society. Time is of the essence as Amina reluctantly forms an alliance with a former medical technician from Celestina's clinic, one whose guilt and insider knowledge come at a high personal cost. In a quiet Lagos safe house, the technician confesses in broken English and local slang about witnessing horrors that defy imagination. His revelations serve as both a warning and a key to unlocking the inner workings of the operation. Despite the risk, Amina sees in this alliance the only chance to dismantle the network from within. The technician's evidence, though fragmented, offers a glimpse into the secretive procedures and cover-ups that have scarred countless lives. Their precarious partnership is a beacon of hope amidst a landscape where every ally might be a traitor and every truth could be deadly. As the investigation deepens, Amina and Femi uncover a labyrinth of deceit woven through hospitals, government offices, and the corridors of international finance. Each new discovery is like a thread that, when pulled, unravels layers of corruption and manipulation. The twisted narrative of falsified records, hidden payments, and secret surgeries reveals a conspiracy more complex than they had ever imagined. The more they uncover, the clearer it becomes that this is not an isolated crime. It's a systemic exploitation. Every lie exposes another link in the chain of betrayal, highlighting how deeply the operation has penetrated society. In this labyrinth of lies, the pursuit of truth becomes a dangerous quest, where every revelation comes at the cost of trust and safety. Detective Femi finds himself in a frantic race against time when a key witness, a woman whose life was irrevocably changed by one of the illegal procedures, is targeted by unknown assailants. As he rushes to secure her safety in a makeshift shelter on the outskirts of Lagos, every moment is a battle against the clock. The tension is palpable, with every second marking the potential loss of critical evidence and another victim to the system. Amina, aware of the urgency, intensifies her efforts to decode the insider files. The race against time is not only about saving lives, but also about preventing the operation from expanding further. With each close call and every near miss, the stakes soar higher, and the shadow of imminent danger looms larger over everyone involved. Haunted by her own past, Dr. Celestina Okafor's history begins to surface through fragments of old interviews and faded family photos discovered in a secluded clinic storage room. The whispers of her early life, a childhood marked by exploitation and betrayal, cast a new light on her current twisted motivations. Her transformation from victim to perpetrator is as tragic as it is terrifying. These revelations add layers of complexity to Celestina's character, suggesting that her dark path is rooted in a desperate attempt to reclaim lost power. The story of her past serves as a grim counterpoint to the horror she inflicts, blurring the lines between revenge and monstrous ambition. For Amina and Femi, this personal history becomes a critical piece of the puzzle, challenging their understanding of right and wrong. Trust, once a fragile lifeline between allies, begins to crumble when a trusted intermediary is found leaking sensitive information to the very forces they are fighting. In a dimly lit meeting room at a community center in Ibadan, whispers of betrayal echo among those who once believed in their mission. The revelation fractures the coalition built on shared pain and determination, leaving a bitter taste of doubt in every conversation. The fallout forces Amina and Femi to re-examine their every move and every ally. In a landscape where deception is the norm, every whispered word and every furtive glance could hide treachery. The shattering of trust adds a profound layer of emotional complexity to their quest, underscoring that sometimes the most dangerous enemies come from within. As the investigation reaches a critical juncture, Amina receives an invitation to a secretive meeting, an event where the key players of the conspiracy are rumored to converge. The invitation, written in a blend of formal English and local pidgin, offers a dangerous opportunity to confront the masterminds directly. For Amina, it represents a turning point where the risk of exposure and the promise of uncovering the ultimate truth hang in a delicate balance. Detective Femi, too, feels the gravity of this moment as he rallies his trusted team for one final push. The anticipation is electric. Every detail of the meeting holds the potential to either shatter the criminal network or plunge them deeper into chaos. With hearts pounding and resolve hardened, both Amina and Femi prepare to step into the heart of darkness, knowing that the outcome will forever change their lives and the fate of many. Under the cover of a humid Lagos night, Amina and Detective Femi infiltrate a luxurious mansion on the outskirts of Victoria Island. Disguised in borrowed attire and armed with hidden recording devices, they blend into an elite gathering where influential figures mingle amid opulent decor. The room buzzes with hushed conversations in a mix of English and local dialect, each word hinting at alliances forged in secrecy and corruption. As they navigate through the glittering crowd, every smile and raised eyebrow seems loaded with unspoken deals. The ambience is heavy with tension, a delicate balance of charm and menace that belies the sinister purpose behind the gathering. For Amina and Femi, every subtle gesture is a clue, and every whispered conversation is a step closer to unveiling the masterminds behind the stolen futures. In a secluded corner of the mansion, hidden cameras capture damning exchanges among conspirators. Voices lower their tone as influential men discuss payments, secret auctions, and the precise logistics of unauthorized procedures. The dialogue, laced with local slang and coded phrases, reveals a web of deceit that spans both local power brokers and international players. Amina listens intently, her recorder capturing every nuance while Femi's steady gaze scans the room for any sign of danger. The intricate network of lies becomes increasingly tangible, a sinister tapestry where trust is currency and betrayal is expected. Each recorded word further solidifies their resolve to expose the dark underbelly of Nigeria's elite. Back in the quieter districts of Lagos, a respected nurse from Celestina's clinic vanishes without a trace after daring to speak out. In the community, her disappearance reverberates like a silent scream, a stark reminder of the cost of defying those in power. Locals gather in hushed mourning at small prayer meetings, their voices blending sorrow with anger as they whisper her name. Her absence becomes a rallying cry, igniting protests and stirring public debate in local markets and radio call-ins. The nurse's loss is felt deeply, not only as a personal tragedy, but as a symbol of the many silenced victims, intensifying the public's demand for accountability. Detective Femi finds himself embroiled in a high-octane chase through the congested streets of Lagos after a tip-off leads him to a speeding black SUV suspected of transporting stolen evidence. The city's chaotic rhythm, filled with blaring horns, market shouts, and the vibrant pulse of everyday life, contrasts sharply with the deadly seriousness of his pursuit. Every turn and narrow alley presents both a potential lead and a lurking danger. As he maneuvers through familiar yet treacherous roads, Femi's focus intensifies. The adrenaline-fueled chase is punctuated by moments of grim determination, and every close call reinforces the reality that the criminal network will stop at nothing to protect its secrets. The pursuit is not just about evidence. It's a race against a system determined to remain hidden in the shadows. Within their tight-knit team, suspicion spreads like wildfire when a once trusted intermediary is revealed to be feeding crucial evidence to the enemy. In a secretive meeting at a modest community center in Ibadan, a hushed confrontation exposes the betrayal, a painful reminder that even the closest allies may harbor dangerous secrets. The shockwaves ripple through the group, sowing seeds of distrust at every level. Amina and Femi, reeling from the double cross, are forced to confront the bitter reality that betrayal can come from those they considered family. Every exchanged glance now carries a weight of suspicion, and the painful fracture in their alliance becomes yet another obstacle in their quest to dismantle the vast network of corruption. Late into a sultry evening, Amina deciphers a cryptic message hidden within the encrypted files, a detailed plan for a large-scale operation set to occur within days. The message, written in a blend of formal English and local pidgin, outlines an event that promises to shift power balances and silence dissent once and for all. Its ominous tone is as clear as it is alarming. The revelation forces both Amina and Femi to reconsider every angle of their investigation. The hidden agenda is not merely about individual crimes. It's an orchestrated move by powerful figures to tighten their grip on society. The urgency of the discovery fuels their determination, knowing that the clock is ticking down to an event that could alter countless lives. A distraught victim reaches out to Amina in the dead of night with a desperate plea for help. In a trembling voice filled with anguish and accented with raw local emotion, she reveals that her stolen reproductive material is about to be used in an experimental procedure with irreversible consequences. The urgency in her words is palpable, demanding immediate action. Caught between the ethical weight of exposing hidden horrors and the personal risk of becoming too entangled, Amina resolves to act. The victim's plea resonates deeply with her own memories of loss and betrayal, transforming her mission from a mere investigation into a personal crusade against those who exploit the vulnerable. In an unexpected turn of events, Detective Femi uncovers evidence linking the dark operations not only to local corrupt elites, but also to an international syndicate involved in high-stakes genetic manipulation. The revelation shatters previous assumptions, expanding the scope of the conspiracy to a global stage. Local whispers of evil from beyond suddenly gain chilling context. This unforeseen twist forces the investigators to navigate a labyrinth of international connections and clandestine operations. The expanded conspiracy casts an even longer shadow over Nigeria's fragile trust in its institutions, and Femi grapples with the daunting realization that the forces they face are more pervasive and formidable than he ever imagined. Amid the chaos of revelations and betrayals, Amina's heart grows heavy with conflicting emotions. The personal toll of witnessing widespread exploitation and corruption weighs on her, stirring memories of her own hardships and the sacrifices she's made in the pursuit of truth. Every piece of evidence she uncovers feels like a double-edged sword, cutting deeper into her soul. In quiet moments, she questions whether the relentless pursuit of justice is worth the personal cost. Yet, the determination in her eyes and the unyielding resolve that has carried her this far reveals that despite her inner turmoil, she cannot turn back. The struggle within her mirrors the larger battle against a system built on exploitation, making every decision a profound moral crossroads. As the conspirators close in, Amina and Femi finalize a daring plan to confront Dr. Celestina Okafor at her fortified estate. The operation, their ultimate gambit, is meticulously planned despite the overwhelming risks. Every detail, from the time of the assault to the positioning of their small team, is calculated in the face of insurmountable odds. The tension is electric as they stand on the precipice of a decisive showdown, knowing that the success of their mission could shatter the criminal empire or plunge them deeper into chaos. With resolve hardened by loss and betrayal, Amina and Femi step forward into the darkness, ready to challenge a system that has long thrived on secrecy and injustice. In the stillness of a humid Lagos night, Amina receives a final, bone-chilling warning on her encrypted phone, a message that blends stark English with terse pidgin. "You better shut up, or you will suffer the consequences." The words are a clear ultimatum: stop unearthing secrets or face dire retribution. The weight of this warning presses upon her, echoing the countless voices of the silenced victims she has come to represent. Instead of instilling fear, the message galvanizes her spirit. With the raw determination of someone who has seen too much injustice, Amina steels herself to push forward. Every syllable of the warning is transformed into fuel for her crusade, as she vows to expose the full extent of the sinister network that has haunted Nigeria's underbelly for too long. Detective Femi leads his most trusted team on a covert descent into Celestina's formidable estate, a sprawling compound hidden behind manicured gardens and state-of-the-art security. Under the cover of darkness, they navigate a labyrinth of corridors and secret passages that pulse with the energy of suppressed corruption. The oppressive atmosphere is laced with the distant sounds of traditional drums, a haunting reminder of Nigeria's ancient resilience. Every step taken in that foreboding mansion is a step deeper into the heart of the criminal empire. Femi feels the weight of every unsaid word and every past injustice as they move stealthily through the shadows. The descent is not just physical. It is a journey into the darkest corners of a society where power and exploitation have long held sway. Within the estate's deepest recesses, Amina discovers a concealed chamber, a cold, clinical vault where rows of vials and meticulously organized files expose the full horror of the operation. The chamber is eerily silent, illuminated only by the flickering light of an old fluorescent bulb that casts long, sinister shadows on the walls. Each vial, labeled in both English and local dialect, carries the stolen hope of a life unfulfilled. The sight of the hidden chamber sends a shudder through her. It is a physical manifestation of the betrayal and exploitation that have scarred so many lives. Every carefully stored piece of evidence here is a testament to the systematic cruelty that has been perpetrated, urging Amina to document every detail and share it with a nation hungry for truth. In a stark, sterile office within the estate, Amina and Femi finally confront Dr. Celestina Okafor. The room is a paradox of beauty and horror, a space decorated with accolades and fine art, masking the grim machinery of unethical experiments. Celestina stands there, her eyes as cold as the instruments laid out before her, as she coolly explains the twisted logic behind her actions. Her confession is laced with bitterness and tragic irony, a tale of a once vulnerable girl molded into a cold-hearted orchestrator by relentless betrayal. The revelation that her dark path was born out of personal pain adds a layer of uncomfortable complexity, forcing Amina and Femi to confront the blurred lines between victimhood and villainy. As the confrontation escalates, an internal battle erupts alongside the physical standoff. Detective Femi finds himself wrestling with the moral ambiguity of a case, his duty to uphold the law colliding with the personal cost of fighting an enemy that knows no boundaries. Every shouted command and exchanged bullet echoes with the agony of a system riddled with corruption. Amina, meanwhile, grapples with her own inner demons. The weight of witnessing unspeakable cruelty and the realization that her own life has become entangled in this web of exploitation threatens to shatter her resolve. Yet, in the midst of chaos, her determination hardens. She knows that only by confronting both external and internal darkness can true justice prevail. In the midst of the mayhem, an unforeseen betrayal fractures the fragile alliance between Amina, Femi, and their remaining team. One of their own, seduced by promises of safety and wealth, slips critical evidence into the hands of the enemy. The revelation sends shockwaves through the group, as the realization that trust has been shattered cuts deeper than any physical wound. Suspicion and grief ripple through the ranks. Every whispered conversation and exchanged glance becomes a potential spark for further betrayal. The fractured alliance forces Amina and Femi to reassemble their team with even greater caution, as they now face an enemy that has exploited their unity against them. As the confrontation intensifies, an unexpected surge of resistance emerges from the community. Inspired by the nurse's sacrifice and the relentless pursuit of truth, ordinary citizens, mothers, activists, and even reformed insiders begin to rally. Their collective voice, a chorus of protest in the local dialects and English, disrupts the enemy's plans, heralding a turning tide in the battle. The community's uprising is both spontaneous and powerful, drawing international attention. Femi's tactical acumen and Amina's relentless storytelling now merge with a grassroots movement that demands accountability. In this shifting landscape, the balance of power begins to tilt, as those who once hid behind impenetrable walls of wealth and influence are forced into the open. In a heart-wrenching moment of revelation, Amina uncovers a personal truth that strikes her like a lightning bolt. Her own stolen reproductive material was used to create a child, a living testament to the network's cruelty. The discovery shatters her, intertwining her personal loss with the larger battle for justice. Every memory of her past now carries the added pain of a life taken without her consent. This final devastating price transforms her grief into a fierce, unyielding resolve. Amina channels her sorrow into an unwavering determination to dismantle the network once and for all. The realization that her very essence has been exploited only deepens her commitment to the fight, fueling the final push for truth and retribution. As the estate's walls tremble under the weight of rebellion and retribution, a brutal reckoning ensues. Flames dance along the perimeter as evidence of corruption is broadcast live to an enraptured nation. Amina and Femi, alongside a surge of empowered citizens, launch a coordinated assault on the remaining bastions of the criminal empire. In the chaos of the showdown, every sacrifice, every cry for justice, becomes a testament to the power of truth over tyranny. The reckoning is both fierce and cathartic, a final decisive moment where the voices of the oppressed rise above the din of corruption, demanding that those responsible for the heinous crimes be held accountable. In the quiet aftermath of the relentless storm, as the smoke clears and dawn breaks over a scarred yet hopeful Nigeria, the true cost of the battle is revealed. The nation grapples with the profound revelations of corruption, exploitation, and the personal tragedies that came to light. Public institutions, once revered, are now under the harsh glare of scrutiny and reform. Amina and Detective Femi stand amid the ruins of the once feared estate, their faces etched with the pain of loss and the hard-won victory of exposing the truth. Though the scars of the battle will forever linger in the hearts of the people, a new chapter of accountability and healing has begun. The echoes of their struggle serve as a powerful reminder that, even in the darkest of times, the relentless pursuit of justice can illuminate a path toward redemption.
As the shadows deepen and the echoes of untold secrets linger, we leave you with questions that demand an answer. 1. What dark truths lie hidden in the silence of forgotten corridors? 2. How far will those in power go to protect their sinister secrets? 3. Can a single spark of truth ignite a revolution against a system steeped in betrayal? 4. What fate awaits those who dare to uncover the mysteries woven into our society's very fabric? Stay curious and join us as we journey further into the unknown, where every revelation leads to more questions, and the next chapter may change everything.